volts, amps, resistance, hydration, oxidation, proton versus electron pressure. The Barhow. We're going to be talking about the Barhow today. And cellular membrane. Back in 1989, we registered the Barhow as part of the EPFX with the FDA. Also, electrophysiological reactivity, the ability to measure a person's reaction to voltammetric signatures. And this was registered in 1989 with the FDA and now is registered all over the world as a medical device. Being able to do these measures and make a measure of the body electric to help correct it. What we call the body electric vital signs. And this work, this vast amount of work has been published at the International Medical University Medical Library around the world. You can get copies of all the different research. You see, in the body we are made of cells, and the cells have membrane, the dual membrane that goes around the outside. And in this membrane there's an electropotential across the membrane of 60 to 70 microvolts. And long as this is a balance, if this is in a balance, then we're going to have health. This is the battery of life, and we can charge that battery of life. We found a way that we could effectively charge that. But now let's get back to the cell membrane. Because the cell membrane, in order to be working, this balance of forces allows then the cell to be mobile and to move. Because if there's an imbalance, then the cell can't move properly, can't function properly. Things cannot get in and out of the membrane. And osmosis is how this happens. And with a little bit of electrical field, we can get an increase in the osmosis effect. So more nutrients get in, more waste gets out, and all of life becomes better because we're able to increase the electro-osmosis of the membranes of the cells. Everything works a little better. We were able to show this, that the human impedance and everything in all the cells works better with an improved electro-osmosis. Things can then move to their desired area in better fashion through life. With the system, we're going to be able to measure the body electric and treat the body electric and autofocus the maximum electro-osmosis pulse. This will help to wake up the body, move waste out of the cells, move nutrition in, and all of the cellular processes will be improved because of the increased autofocused electro-osmosis, allowing us to maximize the healing effect with our machine. We are made of cells, and cells have membranes, and through the membranes we need to transport things through the barriers of the cells. As we bring oxygen in, carbon dioxide out, ions, water, protein, macromolecules, nutrients, waste products coming out, nutrition going in. The different cells of the human body that make us up, trillions of these cells that have cell membranes. The cell membranes activate and work as to keep cytoplasm in, the DNA inside the nuclear membrane. And all of these different membranes are made up of fatty acids, phospholipids mostly, different types of things that have an electrical charge. This lipid bilayer made of these different type of phospholipids. Now the major lifestyle causes of membrane disease include eating fried foods, cooked fatty acids, not getting the fatty acids deficiency, smoking, toxins, synthetic foods, bad digestion, enzyme deficiency, lack of exercise, lymph congestion. These are the major causes of membrane disease. And as we look at these things, they have this incredible action. You see, because the tails are afraid of water and the heads are attracted to water. This means that there is an electrical radiation as that keep the protons on one side of the membrane and the other, a less quantity of protons, electrical charge, on the other side. That this makes our cellular membrane. The cellular membrane is flexible. It can move. It can, if you jab it, it can move because of these things are not locked, they're electrically transmitted. If you hurt it, it tries to repair itself. As like I say, the heads are attracted to water, tails are afraid of water. So this double layer of membrane that works, and it has an electrical function. The phospholipids will act as different extension cords to be able to conduct electricity. There are also different pores that are needed to transport larger items. You see, because we have diffusion, where diffusion works by things from a high concentration to a low concentration, a type of osmosis. An osmosis that is enhanced by a stimulation of a pulsed electrical field. This is what we've done with our devices to be able to increase the action. Now, carbon dioxide and oxygen are small enough to be able to just simply diffuse across the membrane. But other factors and other different nutrients, as we see here, diffusing, but at a certain time they get large enough that they need to have a more active transport. And the more active transport is such as the sodium pump, the potassium pump, these things, these will need ATP energy to be able to function and work. As the cell will be able to, needs to be able to take in the glucose to make the ATP energy. It needs. We are all electric, we have a body electric, and there are forces that are bioelectric and then bioelectromagnetic. The bioelectric are the minimal needs of nutrition and waste release and getting these functions, whereas the bioelectromagnetic have secondary effects on genetics to do all these things. And here we see a band of the DNA type structure. And we're going to back off slowly as we see the DNA molecule. And now as we're going into the cell, coming into the cell, we're going to pass through one of the little pores in the cell membrane. You see? Passing through. Now we can see the cell. And we watch the cell move. Now all of this depends on an electrical function. The bioelectromagnetic are operated from outside of the cell, whereas the bioelectro system works from inside the cell, from the trigger. These are all designed to help cellular processes to work and to monitor and keep up the functions of life. An electrical nature. And as we go into the cell, what holds its shape is the cytoskeleton, made up of the microfilaments, and also, very importantly, the microtubules. The microtubules will allow not just a structure, but also a conveying of the electrical energy field. In other words, the microtubules will help to convey a resonant frequency of the cell and a resonant frequency of the organism. Now, disease will start when there's an imbalance across the membrane. Either the membrane internally gets weak, the battery loses its charge, or there's an imbalance. This is usually caused by tobacco, sugar, bad fatty acids, cooked food, synthetic chemicals, stress, trauma, toxicity. These are the usual causes of all disease, and they cause cellular disease. The brain should be trying to balance these functions, but along comes electro-smoke, all the other different toxins, the causes of disease, and then this creates a problem at the membrane, and thereby we have disease starting at the intercellular level. We can autofocus this with our maximum process using our technology to be able to maximize, because ideally we should be resetting the clock and the cellular membrane should all be tightened up while we sleep. There should be the proper amount of microvolts. There should be the proper amount of Gauss. This is a magnetic measure. And then thereby, as we sleep and rest, all the different systems come back into line and we help to balance it. One of the real reasons that we need sleep to help reset our cellular membranes. This is all done through the system called life where all of the cells act as one to help come together and thereby allow the intimacies of nutrition going in and toxins going out of the membrane. This is the factors of life done by the controlling factors of our biology. Now, the causes of disease: stress, lack of awareness, heredity, mental factors, allergies, trauma, pathogens, purpose energy, deficiency, excess of nutrients. All of these things have to be studied in order for us to do a proper medicine. And we have to recognize that by electrostimulation, with a little bit of fine-tune, we can get back to health and we can resist the causes of disease better. We should try to remove the causes of disease, but sometimes we can't. But we need to be able to get our osmosis working better. And with the auto-tuned, auto-focused electro-osmosis, we can maximize the system. As we learn more about disease and we learn more about balancing the membrane, we need to see how bad cell membranes can cause disease. And one cell membrane going bad could be contagious to others. Now, as we understand, we see that there's a healthy system of balance, nutrients going in, waste going out. There's also a negative bioelectric inequality where the amount of energy inside starts to go down. Here we have the low body voltage. You're sick and tired of being sick and tired. You get fatigued, stressed. Then there's the positive bioelectric inequality, when you can get too much energy inside the cell. And when this happens, you get excess. When you get the excess, then it can create a greater problem. Our system is capable of balancing both. Then there's also the reverse bioelectric inequality, where there's actually a reverse polarity. What used to be positive now is negative. What used to be negative now is positive. This is very rare, but can happen. So we've done a host of different studies to be able to demonstrate the healing potentials of the SCIO, the detox potentials, and the ability to recharge your batteries, recharge your bioelectric cells. And through use of a cybernetic autofocus loop, measuring the body electric, tuning the body electric through electrostimulation, guided autofocused electrostimulation, this loop can now maximize the process of maximizing the electro-osmosis, which will help to trigger the proper waste release, the proper nutrition intake, and to help to get you back to balance. Back to the brain doing its job. Alerting the cells. Being able to bring nutrition in to the cells to do the job and release the toxins outside. All this done to maximize life. With the autofocus to maximize electro-osmosis, and thereby there's 7 billion people in the world. 6 billion people need this system, and over 3 billion people can afford it.